Hi, it's Fabs and welcome to A Fab Kitchen. Today we are doing our final episode of the Caribbean Cookbook series and I'm really sad for it to end. But today we will be testing and reviewing the Jamaican beef patty recipe, so we're ending it on a high. I remember when I was younger going down to Deptford Market and getting a Jamaican patty and sitting there, little tiny me just munching on the patty, and it was just so amazing. It brings back so many memories. So I'm really excited and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this recipe is banging. Don't forget that I'm promoting Matcha Makes Ugly Clay Bits this series, and look at her wonderful earrings. Every single pair that I've worn I've been in love with. So definitely check her out on Instagram and give her a follow. Then check out her Etsy store as well because they are wonderful and they're affordable. But without further ado, let's get started. The ingredients that we're working with today are flour, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, paprika, breadcrumbs, allspice, lard, beef mince, onion, scotch bonnet, beef stock cubes, soy sauce, butter, and a mixture of turmeric powder, salt and sugar. We are going to start off by making our dough. So we're going to start by sieving the flour. And it says to mix it in, but I know very well that mixing it is not going to do anything, so I am going to rub it in. Be careful with turmeric as well because it does stain. So you might want to wear something darker or just wear an apron. Now I'm just going to shake it to get the big bits of butter and lard to the top, so I can rub them in as well. Okay, that's ready. Now I'm going to slowly add in some ice water until it forms the dough. I really wish there was a description of how the dough should be, what kind of texture, how flaky, how stretchy it should be. So I think it's ready, but I'm not actually sure. So I'm hoping this turns out okay, but it's not the smoothest of doughs, but I'm scared that if I knead it too much, the gluten content is gonna come out and it's not gonna be as flaky as I want it to be. Whilst the dough is in the fridge, let's prepare that beef filling. One thing I've learned from cooking a ridiculous amount of spaghetti bolognese is mush up your meat as soon as it goes in the pan, because otherwise it's just going to clump together, and once it's cooked and clumped, it is really difficult to break it up. Now we're going to turn it down to low and simmer it for about 20 minutes. Okay, the beef filling finished simmering and it's ready, so I'm just gonna try it. It smells divine. I just went out of the room and I came back in, I was like, oh my gosh, it smells so nice. Okay, this is what it's looking like. It smells really good. You can really smell that allspice though, and the heat is already coming through. Let's see how it tastes. That was so nice. It was so juicy. As soon as you bite down in the meat, ooh, the juice and the liquid just explodes in your mouth, and it is phenomenal. I might say that it is slightly too salty for me. Like, not unbearably salty, like, you know, you're drinking the ocean, but just the tiniest bit too salty for me. But what I'm thinking is, with the pastry, it might balance it out, I guess. But we'll see. Now, the only thing left to do is to get that dough out, prepare it, cut it, fill it, put it in the oven, and then we're done. This is definitely gonna stain my rolling pin. It doesn't say how thin it needs to be, but there is a page where it looks like they are cutting out some patties. And I'm just going to try and work out from that picture the thickness it needs to be. I think this is the thickness it should be. I hope. So it's about 2/3 of a centimetre. Okay, so now I'm just going to get a plate. It says a medium-sized bowl, but I don't really have a medium-sized. So I'm gonna go for a plate and I'm gonna cut around that. Yeah, that looks okay. And that's what it looks like. I'm not sure if it's too thick or not. I'm hoping it's not. But we'll find out. Now it is time to fill the pastry with this delicious beef filling. It says add a tablespoon, but I'm like, this is not enough, is it? Come on now. Be serious. With all this beef, you want us to use 1 tablespoon per patty, come on. Fold it over. I need some milk. I'm just gonna brush it around like this. I might have put too much. I've definitely put too much. This looks more like a calzone. Calzone. It looks more like a calzone. Literally, look how thick. That's a thick patty. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna use a fork to press down the edges. There we go. And then poke some holes in the top of them to let all the heat and the moisture escape. And then that's ready. Here are the patties. We're just gonna pop them in the oven for 25 minutes. It has been 25 minutes, but this patty doesn't seem like it's anywhere near done. I don't know whether I've rolled it too thick, and I honestly think that might be the case. But I literally just touched it and it's so soft. And bearing in mind in the instructions it says it needs to be hard on the outside and soft on the inside. I'm poking it, I'm just like, wait, there is no hardness to this and it's ridiculous. So I've put it on for another 5 minutes, but I'm not even sure if it's gonna be done. So I think this is a fail already. They need to put more instructions. Like, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating reading through these instructions and not having enough description. Right here, there are pictures of them making it in a factory, making some patties in a factory. And realistically, it looks like I did a similar and kind of thickness, but I'm not sure. You know what? I think I definitely made it too thick because I was doing it based on this kind of thickness. And I'm looking at like over here, and even here it looks like a similar thickness, and then you go over to here and they look so thin. Oh no. These aren't going to turn out nice. I'm going to have to cook them for like an hour for it to at least have a little bit of crisp. I feel so defeated. Patties are now out of the oven. They've officially been in there for about 32 minutes now instead of 25 minutes. And I think that is because the pastry was definitely too thick. And they're huge, these patties. Like, literally, look at them. This is how big patties are. These are calzones. These are not patties at this point. I did make a small one with the rest of the dough that was left over. And it is a better size of a patty. It's still not quite the size of a patty. A patty is usually bigger than this still. And the pastry, I'd rolled out a bit thinner than the rest of them. And it seems like it's come out a bit better. But still, it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to break some off so you can see. Oh, that does look good. So the pastry doesn't actually look too bad, if I'm honest. And it does look flaky inside, but the outside is literally solid as a rock. But I'm going to try it. It's not too bad, but when I say, I feel like I just swallowed, like chewed on a whole turmeric root. I feel like I just chewed on a turmeric root. There is a lot of turmeric in that pastry, that dough. Wow. It's very strong. At this point, I feel like if I eat a whole one of these, my tongue is going to be bright yellow. And that's not what you want out of a patty. When you bake the turmeric, you want it to stay in it, you know. You don't want it to transfer. Like, there's a bit on my hands as well where it's transferred from where I've been holding the patty, which is ridiculous. So I've definitely done this wrong, and in 30 minutes time, when it has rested, I am not sure it's going to be good. I'm not feeling very optimistic about this. Okay, I'm going to try the small one. Bon appetit. I have much to say about this. The filling is so nice, but it's let down by that dough, that pastry. And I know at this point, yeah, I went wrong with the thickness of the patty, but there is way too much turmeric in that dough, in that pastry. And I leveled it out as well, just to make sure that I put the correct amount of turmeric. Because I know I was thinking, 5 tablespoons of turmeric in this. This is quite a bit. But there's so much turmeric, it literally feels like my tongue is going numb. My tongue really does feel tingly though. And I'm not sure if I'm allergic to the turmeric. But I've had turmeric multiple times, but there has never been an instance where 5 tablespoons of turmeric has been in there. Maybe like 2 teaspoons maximum has been in the dish, but 5 tablespoons. And it's like the turmeric has got like a kick as well, and it just feels very disrespectful of that turmeric. Honestly, you could find this in the dark. It is gonna glow. It will glow. Let's get on to ratings. Let's just get it over with. For taste, I'm gonna give it a 3-star because that filling was banging and it really made up for that dough. But that dough, wow, was it a letdown. That was a disappointment. It's trying to be nice. It's trying to, you know, be a patty, but it's just not. But I think if I had rolled it a lot thinner, then I think this would be so much nicer, because obviously you're not going to get as much turmeric in one mouthful. To some extent, like, it is my fault and I should have really taken my initiative to think, oh, you know what, this is a bit thick, maybe I should have done it thinner. But after all, that should have been in the instructions. And this isn't the first time that I've come across this where they haven't given enough clarification or a description as to how something should turn out. Like when I was doing that pumpkin and sweet potato curry, they didn't actually specify whether the spring onion and the garlic should be chopped up. And looking back on it, I know that it needed to be chopped up. I wanted to follow the book, you know, step by step, exactly how they said it should be done. But it's so disappointing, and this is the second book where it's just ended on a disappointment. I'm not happy about this. Stay tuned for that overview because I'm going ham. I am. In terms of easy sauce, everything is pretty easy to find. I think what's great about this recipe is the fact that it gives you substitutes in case something is not available. So for example, if you can't find breadcrumbs, you can just use flour. If you can't find soy sauce, you can use Worcester sauce. So easy sauce, I am going to give a 5-star. And then difficulty, this recipe was just like the final recipe that I did in the Chinese Unchopped series, where it was the crispy chili beef, and it took so long, and I just felt like it was a waste of time. It was a waste of my time, because the amount of effort exerted for this to come out and not be nice was just so disappointing. I had so much hope for these patties. I wanted more out of this. So difficulty, I'm going to give it a 2-star because it did take like 2.5 hours to make. And then for it to only deserve a 3-star, and that's just about a 3-star. Like, they're lucky I didn't go for a 2.5-star because it's not great. I might open up these patties and scoop out the meat so I can just eat it with some rice and peas, because the dough felt inedible at that point. So overall, this dish got 3.3 stars. 3.3 out of 5. Wow. I can't believe that. I was so excited for this and I had such high hopes. But you know what it was? As soon as this dough went into the oven, all I could smell was turmeric, and I should have known something bad was happening. I should have known. Oh my gosh. Time for price and advice. This dish cost £3.41 overall, making around 5 patties, and that works out to be 69p per serving. In terms of advice, add 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder, not the 5 tablespoons that the book says. When adding the butter and lard, make sure they are cold and try not to handle the dough too much when kneading, as you don't want the butter to melt. Now when it comes to rolling the dough, you want the thickness to be around 3 millimeters for it to be nice and flaky and to have a great dough to filling ratio. And finally, be prepared to stain your surface from the turmeric in the dough, so make sure to protect it before starting. Stay tuned because I will be posting a full overview of Original Flavors Caribbean Cookbook, and if you want to find out whether it will help you cook like a pro or if it's an absolute no, don't miss this one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos. If you liked these wonderful cow heart earrings, don't forget to follow Matcha Makes Ugly Playbits on Instagram and check out her Etsy store. But for now, peace! Is this an allergic reaction? Ooh, ooh, 999. Ooh, hello. My tongue is yellow. Mmm.